This is a video about dot plots. So what is a dot plot? A dot plot is a graphical display of data using dots, and that's what these are. So this is an example of a dot plot, and it represents the results of a survey, and the survey was, how long does it take you to eat breakfast? And the results were that 6 people reported that it took 0 minutes, 2 people reported that it took them 1 minute, and so this means that 6 people who took 0 minutes to eat breakfast, well, they really probably had no breakfast then, really. And 2 people said that they only spent 1 minute having breakfast. And so we take all of this data set and we plot them like this. So here at 0 minutes, here are the 6 respondents. And then at 1 minute, there were 2 people who responded that it took them 1 minute. And then 2 minutes, 3 people responded that it took them 2 minutes. So how many people responded that it took them 10 minutes? So take a second and count up how many respondents responded 10 minutes. Okay, so let's go to 10 minutes and count the dots. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 people reported that it took 10 minutes for them to eat breakfast. So now let's think about, sometimes you have to figure out the mean or the median when they give you a dot plot. And so how do we do that? Well, then we have to write out the data set. The data set is simply the number of respondents. So here is 6 people, so we'd have 6 people who responded that it took them 0, so I'd have to write the 0 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because this is really the frequency, like how many times people said 0. And then there were 2 people who said it took them 1 minute, and then 3 people who said it took them 3 minutes, and then 5 people who said that it took them 3 minutes, and so forth. So I would finish writing out my data set. And altogether, when I'm finished, I would have 40 data points in my set, because there are 40 dots on my dot plots. To find the mode in a dot plot, you have to remember that mode means the most. And in a dot plot, it means that which one has the highest peak. And when you look at the 2 tall columns here of dots, you can tell that 10 minutes is the higher peak than 0 minutes. And so the mode in this dot plot would be 10 minutes. So now it's time to find out about the median. Do you remember what the median is? Well, the median means the middle number. So there are 2 ways for us to find out what the middle number is. One is to slash off pairs of low and high until we get to the middle. So let's try that first. So we're going to go low, high, low and high, low and high. And when you finally slash off all the lows, pairs of lows and highs, you're going to end up with 2 middle numbers, because we have 40 data points. So because we have an even set of data points, we will have 2 middle numbers. And so it turns out that the median here is 5 minutes. So one way is to just, is to slash off pairs of low and high until you get to the middle. Or you can say that I know that I have 40 data points, so the middle has to be divided by 2, and that gives us 20. And so if you count 20 points, if you count up 20 points, you'll find out that this is your 20th data set. And if we go this direction and we start counting off 20, years, you'll get to here and you'll realize that's my 20th data point. And so that's a second way to find out what the median is. You can just take the total and divide by 2. To find the range of this data set, let's go ahead and write down what our data set is. And it starts with 0, because I have 1, 0, and then another 0. Then I have 3 ones, 1, 2, 3, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. Then I have 3 threes and 2 fours. So the range is equal to the high minus the low. The high is 4 minus 0. That gives me 4. Well, that's the long way to do it. We could also look at the horizontal axis and see that I have 4 there as my highest number and 0 as my lowest. So I can subtract 4 minus 0 from the horizontal axis and find the range. To find the mean, I would have to do a lot of work. Remember, the mean is the mean one, so I'd have to add up all of these values. So we'll start with 0, so that's 0, plus I have 3 ones, that would be 3, and then I have 5 twos, which is 10, and then I have 3 threes, which is 9, and 2 fours, which is 8. And if I add that up, this would be 0 plus 3 plus 10 is 13, plus this 9 plus 8, which is 17. And 13 plus 17 would give me 30. So I have 30, a total of 30. Now I have to divide by the many. And it turns out that I have 15 data points. And that's because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's my 15 data points. So 15 times 2 is 30. That gives me 0. So my mean turns out to be 2. And that makes sense because 2 is in the center between 0 and 4. So now here's a dot plot showing the number of pets at home that each respondent had. So go ahead and list the data set, find the mode, the median, the range, and the mean, and then pause the video to do that, and then check back to see if your answers match mine. So your data set is that you have 4 ones and you have 6 twos, 2 threes, 2 fours, and a 5. Your mode is the highest peak, which is right here at 2. And so 2 pets in the home is your mode. And your median, again, since you have 15 data points, half of that would be 7.5. So you'll have one middle number. So you'll have 7 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then from the other side, if you count 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you'll be left with one middle number, and that's 2. So your median happens to be 2 as well. Your range is, remember, high minus the low. So you have 5, which is your highest, minus your low, which is 1, and your range is equal to 4. Now the mean one. The mean one says you're doing all the work. So what numbers do you have to add up? Well, you have 4 ones, so that means that's 4. Plus you have 6 twos, which is 12. You have 2 threes, that's 6. And you have 2 4s, which is 8, and then you have a 5. And it looks like you have that would be 16. 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 5. 16 plus 14 would give you 30, plus 5 is 35. And if my total is 35, I have to divide it by the total number of data points in my set, and that happens to be 15. That's what you said there. And so 15 times 2 is about 30. And that subtract that gives you a 5. Bring down a 0. 15 into 50 is probably about 3, because I think that's about 45. So your mean is 2.3, 2 and 3/10, which is a little more than 2. And I hope your answers matched mine.